speaker, and as we know, one of the most reliable Dragon Ball translators. And people have used his translations in the past to upscale all the time, so you can't just pick and choose when you want to use them.
Firstly, just because Herms is a native Japanese speaker doesn't mean he can't get the translation or the context wrong in one way or the other. And just because people have used his translations in the past to upscale things doesn't mean that the translations that he gave in the past were 100% accurate or within context, and doesn't make him some sort of official authority on Dragon Ball translations. Personally, I don't see Herms as an official authority on Dragon Ball translations, neither do I rely on his translations for all my scaling. I usually have my things translated by either, say, ChatGPT or asking multiple native Japanese people to understand the context behind it.
And he translates it as higher than the sky, a dimensionally transcendental heavenly country that cannot be perceived from the human realm. And since this kanji can be translated as either transcendental or as transcending dimensions, we need context from a native speaker, in other words, Herms, and he says transcendental.
Herms didn't just say transcendental. Herms said dimensionally transcendental. Why are you lying to your audience and trying to shift the context to your motive, bruh? Why are you trying to shift the context to fit your narrative, bro? This is so dishonest.
Or if we take just this section of the kanji, it's Shoetsushita, which is transcendental.
Pins, why are you taking just that kanji, bro? Why are you ignoring the Jigen? Jigen means dimension/dimensionality. Why are you ignoring it? It says Jigen wo Shoetsushita, not just Shoetsushita. So it says transcending dimensions, not just transcending. Like, why are you being so dishonest? You're just intentionally taking away the crucial part of the scan, the crucial part of the kanji, just to fit your narrative.
Which means beyond or above the range of normal or merely physical human experience, which again is consistent with the fact that it's a spiritual realm that you go to after you pass away in the Dragon Ball universe.
Pins, for the last time, the scan doesn't just say Shoetsushita. It says Jigen wo Shoetsushita. If we go by what you're doing, then we completely exclude the dimensionally part that Herms put in the translation that you're using. But Herms put in the translation a dimensionally transcendental heavenly country. So this heavenly country is transcendental in a dimensional way. It's describing how it's transcendental. Herms is not an idiot for putting dimensionally there. Stop ignoring it and stop being dishonest.
Which even if we use the translation that Mystic posted up, this still makes the most sense rather than saying it's both a transcending dimension and a transcendental realm.
Well, we all know that's wrong since I've already exposed you for trying to cover the context.
Higher than the heavens, beyond dimensions that humans can perceive, the gods of heavenly realm look down upon the entirety of this world from above. If you read the full sentence in context, it clearly is talking about the realm above, physically above the human realm that you go to after you pass away and you cannot perceive while you are still alive.
It's official. Pins did not pay attention in physics class. There is no objective direction of up or down, Pins. I hope you're aware of this. Like, if someone is on the other side of the planet, his perception of what up is different from someone that's on the other side of the planet. Up and down are completely subjective. In space, there is no up or down. The only reason why we have up or down is because our planet is spherical and we, try to understand what up or down means according to our perspective, right? But there is no objective definition or objective axiom of up or down. So it's impossible in context of spatial axioms to have a realm above another when there is no actual objective standard for above or below or left or right. It's all subjective. So how can you, even in context to an infinite universe like the one in Dragon Ball, how can you have something on top of infinity? How does that make any sense to you, bro? How can you have a realm physically on top of another one? The realm in question is not even physical, and yet you're arguing that it's physically above the universe, bro. Like, you literally can't even make this up. This is just bullshit. It seems like Dragon Ball Downplayers just throw all sense of logic and honesty out the window whenever trying to scale Dragon Ball. Because at first he just completely ignored the dimensionally part of the scan, and now he's just completely ignoring the fact that up and down don't even actually exist. So we all know that apart from Japanese, Dragon Ball also releases officially licensed Spanish guidebooks like El Manga Legendario. So we know that Spanish is not a strange thing for Dragon Ball. There's multiple Spanish guidebooks which the entire Dragon Ball community is aware of and is officially licensed and used by literally everyone. So we know that this scan is from the Daizenshu and it was made way back in like 1994 or 1995, whichever one it was. And the Chozenshu is basically the updated version of the Daizenshu that was made in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. And basically, since it's updated, it means that any information that's in the Chozenshu now is accurate information and is supposed to be there. So it's not just some random statements or it didn't get retconned. Now, we know this specific scan still doesn't have an official English translation, but it does have the original Japanese translation and a new official Spanish translation that was licensed by Shueisha. And I'm not even joking, this is literally the physical copy of the new updated Chosenchu talking about the afterlife scan. And this is what it says in the translation. It literally says transcending space and time in Spanish. So you literally can't make this up. It's the physical copy, so you can't say it's edited or whatever. Like, you can't make any more excuses. And in case you missed it, it's in the third line. It says, El País Celestial transcende el espacio y el tiempo, which basically translates to the realm of the gods transcends both space and time. So you cannot deny it. This is an official physical copy licensed by Shueisha, official Spanish translation. If you can trust Herm's translation, right, then surely you should have no problem trusting an official translation from Shueisha, right? Come on, you can't have a problem with an official translation. I mean, you've probably used, El Manga Legendario before. You never had a problem with that. So you should be able to trust an official translation if you can, appeal to Herm's translation, who's an unofficial person, not even a Dragon Ball staff member. So if you're gonna accept Herm's translation over an official translation, then I don't know what to say to you, bruh.
And even if we were to say what's 5D, that's still inconsistent. Krillin is a human that's still somewhat relative to Goku, and guess what? He can perceive 5D, so he should be able to perceive this realm if it was just talking about it being 5D.
Pins, what are these garbage-ass arguments, bro? You're only making yourself look stupid. You're presupposing the idea that scaling relative to Goku automatically means that you can perceive 5D somehow. And you didn't even prove that Goku can perceive 5D in the first place to substantiate that argument. Like, what the fuck are you doing? How does that make it inconsistent? Especially for the fact that nobody even argues that Goku's existence or perception is 5D. They only argue that his attack potency can get to that level, which is the most consistent type of scaling. Like, no one is dumb enough to say that Goku's body is 5D. Like, we literally see that he's a three-dimensional being. He can affect higher dimensional structures. Zeno is a three-dimensional being that can erase timelines. It's consistent. Like, I don't know why you have so much of a problem with this.
So yeah, this scale is buns in 2025.
No, Pins, you're buns in 2025. Matter of fact, anyone who genuinely watches your videos and agrees with your scaling is absolute buns. You're all buns. Your whole community is buns, bro.